One of the things that I wish I would have had when I was starting to learn was something like Rocksmith.
They were guitar and music learning software at the time, very bare bones. You know, not really like showing you how to play guitar.
In the past, you would have to just learn by ear or go on the internet, find some tabs.
It was a challenge, and I'm sure if I heard what I had played in those first days, it probably didn't sound very good.
Had Rocksmith been around at that time, I would have been all in for sure.
It makes it fun to play the same thing over and over and over again, the same way that like you would if you were just practicing. But now it feels like a game.
1, 2, 3, yeah.
Learning the notes is wonderful, and it's even more wonderful if you understand a bit about the music that you're playing. My name is Dr. Margaret Jones. I'm the content editor for Rocksmith Discover, but most of my friends and colleagues call me Marge. I have my PhD in music with a focus in music history from the University of California, Berkeley, which I got in 2019, and I joined this team shortly thereafter. The work that I do here is specifically looking at how to share the breadth and the world of music. I joined the Rocksmith team as a music historian. So the game development world is new to me, working with software is new to me, but I've learned so much from the incredible colleagues that I work with.
I've always been kind of musical. I started playing violin when I was 5. I do remember the first time I picked up the violin and we were driving home from buying it, I just flipped the violin over and I strummed it like a guitar, so maybe that was like just, it was fate or something. I don't know, like I was always destined to like flip it over and just start strumming.
So I got involved with Rocksmith when I was hired as a note tracker, and I was transcribing music week after week, which is something I loved doing anyway. So it was great because even if I wasn't working here, that's probably what I would have been doing. So for me, it was just a natural evolution of my life to be doing that as a job. I started playing guitar seriously at the age of 12. Had an uncle who played, he would come over and teach me how to play anytime he'd come over, and it was pretty inspiring. But then, you know, at 12 you start listening to music with a lot of intent. You know, you really get pulled into certain styles. And what I heard in those styles of music was the guitar more than any other instrument.
I would describe my life as a musician as very multifaceted. With my band, Hail the Sun, I tend to tour several times a year, and those can be several weeks at a time. We also do studio recordings, usually about every year or two, but that's really more the career musician side. As an individual musician, it's just nonstop playing music, writing music, recording music, listening to music, studying music. I actually chose drums first, but I had very poor instruction, or really zero instruction. So I picked up guitar as an alternative because my dad had played it while I was growing up, and I loved the sound of his playing. He played fingerstyle.
I've had an interesting relationship with the instrument for most of my life. It's really important, and I really enjoy thinking about how the way that we use technology to share music and to help people understand and learn about music is folded into a lot of the things that I've done as an academic in the past.
As a developer for Rocksmith Plus, I think this is an amazing position to have. Being that I've worked in music education for the majority of my life now, being able to carve out an experience for our players that is going to give them all the knowledge that they need and being able to carve that and control that so that they can have every bit of information they need to succeed is an amazing thing.
I like to think about the work that I'm doing and the way that we're all working together as just being the next step in helping people learn to play.
Well, I guess I am in the education realm, so I'm teaching, but in a different way, in a very unique way, but in a way that allows me to just focus on being creative, which is cool.
Music to me represents the best vacation you can ever have from life. You know, you can be having a rough day and everything can go wrong, and you can go home and be in a bad mood, and you can pick up your instrument and you can escape. And when the sound enters your ears, the sound that you are creating, it just takes you to a different realm.
A professor of mine in college described music as organized sound, and that has always stuck with me because musical tastes can be so wide-reaching, but at the end of the day, what we're all trying to do is take sound and put it into some sort of organization.
And it also is just a way to express yourself without having to use words.
Although another description I've heard that I love as well is that music is the decoration of time, whereas a painting is sort of decorating space. Music is decorating time, and I love to think of music that way.
I think about when I was first getting started playing, I didn't actually have access to a teacher. Like, I was too young to go to a guitar store and start taking lessons. So it would have been amazing to have something like Rocksmith in that moment where I could interact with it and I could learn from it before I was ready to kind of head out into the world.
It takes all of the guesswork out of putting yourself into a challenge and then knowing or having to know what that next challenge needs to be. Instead, it just sits there and listens, lets you know where you're struggling and how to improve, and also offers suggestions as to what to do next. For someone like me who loves to self-teach, it's a perfect tool to take me to the next level in my guitar learning journey.
Rocksmith is complementary to working with a teacher. It's kind of like you could do it in any number of ways. You could experience Rocksmith on your own and learn from it that way. You could, experience Rocksmith with an instructor and have them help guide you through it. Or you can work with an instructor, take all the knowledge that they have to give you, and then apply it into Rocksmith.
It kind of comes down to what your needs are, but the great thing about our service is that it's adaptable.
That one.
When you play an instrument, especially when you play an instrument with other people, you learn so much about yourself and the other person. It's a conversation.
It's so cool to me to be actually teaching people how to play an instrument, how to create art, create music from nothing. We give you the building blocks, and not in a way that seems really overly educational. It's such a fun approach to really just put the instrument in your hands.
Rocksmith Plus is the music learning service of the future.
Let me try to play a crazy lick super clean.
I do have a message for those who want to start learning guitar, and it is to simply start. Every moment is an opportunity to get that thing into your hands and start creating and exploring what music can do to enhance your life. I would just say dive in.
Is that if you want to do it, try to do it. The experience of playing guitar or bass can open up your mind and create a whole new experience for you in your life that otherwise you would never know that you were missing. It's not always an easy journey, but it is worth all the effort that you can put into it.
Rocksmith Plus is really exciting because it has no intention of slowing down or stopping anytime soon. This is going to be a continual process where we are adding more songs, more arrangements, more features, potentially even more instruments down the line. And for all of those reasons, I'm going to be sticking around to help the development and to keep people learning music. Great, perfect ending.
Rocksmith Plus Interactive Music Learning. Available now. Get unlimited access to guitar learning. Check out GetRocksmith.com.